Hey guys, Kaabiikaze here, and before we get started with the video, I just want to talk about a couple things. First off, this video will be voiced over instead of text-based. I know in the past videos for this type of stuff, I've done text-based content, and even though I could very well do text-based content again, given the amount of time it would take to make that text-based content, and considering how most other content such as this have been voiced over for this past couple years, I figured it's about time for me to head on over to that field just because one is a lot easier to record, but also it's easier to convey my thoughts over my voice as opposed to trying to write a gigantic paragraph that may take some viewers longer to read. Lastly, as of this video being made, Smash Ultimate has concluded its development. It is sitting right now at 13.0.1. Without further ado, here are some timestamps and the topics that we're going to be covering in this video. So if you want to skip around and look at topics you're interested in, feel free to take a look at them right now. Otherwise, just sit back, grab a drink or snack or whatever you find fancy, and I hope you enjoy this video. What exactly is a Taunt Battle? As the intro of the video suggested, it's really just a very niche type of Smash game mode where instead of fighting each other on like using characters or stage or whatever, you use that setup to really just mess around and have fun with other individuals. This can come in many forms, but as the title suggests, usually the most common form of this is just spamming your taunt the entire match. Taunt battles originally stemmed back in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, where due to the nature of online and how online works, it was pretty uncommon to find people in a given room where they're doing a taunt battle. A large part of it had to do with Brawl Online only having timed matches and not really allowing any customization on rule sets. The way people played online was fairly limited. They became quickly notorious though because the only matches you could find online were Taunt Parties. They just became a negative aspect of Brawls Online. When Smash 4 came around, there was a lot of changes that happened. The biggest change is the division between For Fun and For Glory. If you want a serious match, you can go into For Glory and do your 1v1, your team battles, your stock matches, and so forth. But For Fun was sort of relegated to what Brawl had in mind, where it was like time matches where you play with items, you can play with teams, and you just kind of have fun with like in a very unranked scenario. So that sort of paved its way for Taunt Parties to sort of exist in Smash 4, but only in For Fun section. But now, when Ultimate came around, it sort of went back to what Brawl had, but it was more focused. Like it took the ideas of what Smash 4 had and made the online for Ultimate to be sort of a hodgepodge. For the most part, Taunt Parties still do exist in Ultimate. They're just in very different area than you would expect it. So first, let's talk about some general changes to Smash Ultimate's online mode compared to Smash 4. So Smash Ultimate Online has two primary game modes. There's Quick Play and there's Battle Arena. Quick Play is the more restricting of the two, just because of the random nature of Quick Play. So for starters, in Quick Play, you can't taunt while in a match at all. In Smash 4, you can taunt like 2 times, and every time you get a KO, you get like 1 extra taunt or something. In Quick Play, they just outright just stop taunting. The only exception to that is if you're Kirby and you happen to have a Kaabiikaze ability, then you can taunt to get rid of it. And also, if you happen to be away from your controller, or even just being passive in your gameplay, so you're not even like attacking the other person, you're just walking around doing nothing, that's will result in you getting kicked from the match you're in, and Ultimate is Online as a soft ban. As you can tell, they are trying to make sure Quick Play does not have any of this behavior at all. That leaves us with Battle Arenas. Battle Arenas are kind of like friend rooms, but more public in that these don't have any restrictions whatsoever compared to Quick Play. You can taunt as many times as you want. You can be away from your controller. You can be passive, and you can do whatever you want. It's basically your own room. As a result, Battle Arenas is where you find these set things. So where exactly do you find these taunt battles now in Smash Ultimate? The easiest way to find them would be in public battle arenas. All you need to do, if you look for public arenas and search for playground. This might be the first time that the developers actually acknowledge taunt battles being a thing, because they weren't really described or even promoted at all. They just sort of existing. Now that battle arenas are a thing, let alone creating your own arena with your own rules, this label essentially just tells people who want to do taunt battles, say, hey, we have this label here for you guys to use. Just go ahead and do what the hell you want. Now, granted, depending on where you live, there might be more or less open arenas like this at the time of recording this video. So how exactly do you make one of these? All you really need to do is just open up a new battle arena, make sure you label it as a playground room. That's very important. And when in the rule set, there really isn't a particular rule that you need to do. If you really want to go old school, you can do the classic 2-timer, time, battle, items on, whatever, and kind of go from there. But you can also make it a stock battle, maybe like free stock, 4 minutes max. Essentially, the idea is if you have a lot of people in your arena room, you want to keep the line moving for them so everyone can have a turn to sort of play. It's common courtesy, in other words. Once you do that, make sure you have all the other settings set to standard, including custom stages. Lastly, you can allow people to choose their own stages, just so you can make it flexible, or if you want to make it thematic, which I have seen some taunt battles are more thematic than anything else, then you can set that rule here. But for the most part, the more flexible you are with what other people can bring to the table, then the more interesting taunt battle can be. Let's say you were curious, you wanted to go into a battle arena to check these out, and now you're in one. What exactly do you do now? Because there's no restrictions on what you can do in them, pretty much all the stuff back in Brawl's taunt battles apply here as well. I'll go over some unique cases in a moment, but for the most part, some of the behaviors you could do are just taunting, repeatedly crouching, shield breaking yourself, dash dancing, spamming specific moves, like you can spam an aerial, you can spam a special move, any move really, grab releases. There are a couple of things that are new to the taunt battle scene. First one is that there is the ability to run in place on the edge. In order to do this, it's a little tricky. Initially, you have to make sure you get A plus B button mapping to do a smash stack on in your controller setup. I'll link a video in the description showing you how to do it specifically, but this technique basically just allows you just to run on the edge constantly, as long as you keep holding down the control stick. It just looks kind of funny. There are a couple people that I was experimenting with that I found to have kind of funny animations doing this, so I'll show them below. Another thing you can do is do taunt canceling. So Ultimate introduced a new mechanic to where once you're taunting, you can actually cancel that taunt out into a different move after a certain amount of time passes. But you can also taunt into another taunt. So you can essentially just spam your taunts even more so now than ever. And this kind of leads to some pretty interesting shenanigans. Just for a quick reference, here are some characters that I found to have pretty amusing taunt cancels. There's also some character-specific techniques that you can do. If you have knowledge of the characters in previous games, then you can more or less do the same thing with them. But I'll leave a quick little montage here to show what you can do with some characters. Another thing you can do is smash taunts, which on certain stages, if you do a down taunt within a certain frame window, you'll activate a special little message that pops up depending on what characters are currently in the match. If you happen to be in one of the stages shown below and you're playing as a certain character in those stages, the only exception is if you're Wolf, you can't do his smash taunt on Venom because Wolf wasn't technically in melee at that time. But everything else just works. Um, Also, one interesting fact is that in Shadow Moses Island, Snake has Smash Taunt where he does like a codec call with some other folks from his games. Apparently, they didn't update this for any of the new characters in Ultimate, so you can only really do Snake's Smash Taunt on Shadow Moses Island if there's a Brawl character that exists in that game. The next topic I want to go over is custom stages. And this is where Taunt Battles truly shine in Ultimate because this is the first time you are allowed to play custom stages with random people online. Because in Smash 4 you were able to do it only with friends. So the ability to pick a custom stage and have it be played on a battle arena opens up a lot of doors and what exactly you can do. There's a huge list of like funny stage meme ideas that you can do that I would love to go over them all in here, but most of them, either one, might not be available. I would like to show you all some stage that could be fun in a Taunt Battle setting. Lastly, because how Ultimate is sort of an ongoing game where it kept on getting patches when major issues are found, there really isn't a lot of funny glitches you could do online. There is one small glitch you could do, but it's very impractical to do essentially. And what I'm talking about is this one glitch where it sort of freaks the camera out in the Halberd stage. The general idea is that one person plays as Yoshi and they sort of time Yoshi's neutral B to where he gulps down a character, and during the time where the stage transitions out of the main starting gate into the general flying section, if Yoshi times his neutral B right, it'll put basically that person who got caught in his neutral B in a weird state where they're not really in the stage anymore, they're everywhere. My point being is that this is very impractical, and unless you're really dedicated to getting this going, there really isn't a lot of options for glitches. And that should conclude this video. Taunt battles are definitely not as present as what they were back in the Brawl days, and even less so in Smash 4. But it is nice to see that Nintendo has acknowledged their existence by putting a special filter for them in battle arenas. The magic of them is definitely not the same as it was before, albeit that battle arenas sort of reinvigorate Taunt battles by letting people do whatever they want again, since Smash 4 tried to put a stop to it. They are an interesting thing to experiment when you have the time, or if you're just bored of Ultimate and maybe you just want to mess around, meet some new folks, and overall just maybe just play more on the casual side, because at the end of the day, there are other sides of this game, and Taunt Battles is one of the sides. Thank you again for watching this video, and I hope you've learned something new today. Take care.